Week 15 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitchers I look to buy this week. The first guy, Manaya of the San Diego Padres. So Manaya this season, 104 innings, 5-5 record, 94 hits, 50 earned runs, 39 walks, 104 strikeouts, 13 quality starts, a 4.33 ERA, and a 1.28 WHIP. But over the last few weeks here for Manaya, it's been a struggle. 9 1/3, 1-1 record, 15 hits, 7 runs, 3 walks, 7 Ks, a quality start, 6.75 ERA, and a 1.93 WHIP. So Manaya, in the offseason, he got traded from the Oakland Athletics here to the San Diego Padres. And right here, it's been up and down for the most part this season. Obviously, with the ERA almost in the mid-fours here, and him in a tough division in the NL West with the Los Angeles Dodgers, Giants, and the Rockies. They could hit the baseball a little bit, and he just hasn't been consistent for a few strings of games. It's one good game and one bad game, it seems like, here for Manaya. But he's definitely a guy we try to trade for on my roster down the stretch because I like his stuff. He's pretty good at innings eating for the most part here. And this Padre team, if they could make a trade or get Tatis back sooner than later, I think they could start putting a string of games together as well and starting to play better. So the last few games here for Manaya, July 11th at the Rockies, 6 1/3 got the win. 5 hits, runs, a walk, 5 Ks, a quality start. July 16th versus Arizona, 6 innings, got the win. 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks, a quality start. And July 25th at Detroit, 3 1/3 got the loss. 8 hits, 4 runs, a walk, and 4 Ks. So right now, he's a guy we go out there and try to get. He's not going to be the headliner for your roster at the top of your rotation, but he's definitely a guy that can help in a big way, I think, as your 4th or 5th starter for fantasy owners. And right now, while the numbers have been all over the place of late here, it will be a perfect time to get him before he gets back on track, and then his value goes up. The next guy, Kevin Gorsman of the Toronto Blue Jays. So Gorsman, a pretty decent season in his first year with Toronto after leaving the Giants in free agency. 103 2/3, 7-8 record, 118 hits, 38 earned runs, 19 walks, 122 strikeouts, and 10 quality starts with a 3.30 ERA and a 1.32 WHIP. So those are good numbers in a tough AL East here for Kevin Gorsman. But over the last few weeks here, it hasn't been all that good. The 15 2/3, 1-2 record, 22 hits, 10 earned runs, 3 walks, 22 strikeouts, a 5.74 ERA with a quality start and a 1.84 WHIP. So right here, Gorsman, we know he's got good stuff. We know he's definitely a good innings eater. But the tough division does play a factor at times as well here, with teams that can hit the baseball like the Yankees, the Tampa Bay Rays, even Baltimore's played pretty good this season considering. And right here, he struggled over the last few games on and off his Gorsman. But he's a guy I think that could get back on track. And his next matchup is possible where he does that. July 14th versus the Royals, 6 innings, got the loss. 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks, a quality start. July 22nd in Boston, 5 innings, got the win. 7 hits, 3 runs, 10 Ks in that one. And July 27th versus the Cardinals, 4 2/3, got the loss. 8 hits, 5 runs, a walk, 6 Ks. So right here, Kevin Gorsman, he's been struggling the last few games here. And the matchups, they haven't been all that difficult as well. So right now, while he struggled versus these pretty weak hitting ball clubs here, this would be a time to get him. I think he maybe hit the wall a little bit right now. But we know what he's capable of. Even though I know coming into the season, I thought he wouldn't be that good with the change of scenery. And he had some good luck playing in San Francisco in a good pitcher's ballpark. But right here, he's been solid with Toronto. They give him a lot of run support. And that ERA we figured would go up, but it's only in the mid-threes, which is very good, especially in the AL East here. So right now, I would go out there and try to get Gorsman. The next guy is Smile Mikolas of the St. Louis Cardinals. So Mikolas, he's had a pretty solid year here. After the last few seasons, he's been in and out of the rotation with injuries. On the year, 125 1/3, 7-8 record, a complete game under his belt, 99 hits, 40 earned runs, 25 walks, 96 strikeouts, 13 quality starts, which is up there amongst the league leaders, 2.87 ERA, and a 0.99 WHIP. But over the last few weeks here for Mikolas, 12 innings, 1-1 record, 10 hits, 7 runs, 3 walks, 8 Ks, a quality start, a 5.25 ERA, and a 1.08 WHIP. So right here, he's hit a little bit of a struggle. Here's Mikolas. After having 2 good games, he had a bad one, and then he had 2 bad games before the 2 good ones. So the consistency's been a little bit down, but I know tomorrow he's got a great matchup at the Washington Nationals, one of the worst teams in all of Major League Baseball, even though surprisingly they just came out of the Los Angeles Dodgers series, winning 2 out of 3. versus them. So the last few games here for Mikolas, July 11th versus Philly, 7 1/3, got the win. 6 hits, a run, 5 Ks, a quality start. July 16th versus the Reds, 7 innings, got the win. 3 hits, a run, a walk, 4 Ks, a quality start. And July 24th at the Reds, he got hit in that one. 5 innings, got the loss. 7 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. So Mikolas versus these bad teams for some reason, for the most part, he just don't go out there and put up big games. But versus good teams, he's got more juice and he pitches better. But he's definitely a big innings eater this season for sure. But right now, with a couple bad games under his belt in the month of July, here is Mikolas. I think you could go out there. You still got to give up a decent hitter or a decent pitcher in a deal for him. But his value definitely dropped off considering where he was the first couple months of the season here. But right now, while he's struggling a little bit, this is a time to go get him. The next guy is Taylor Rogers of the San Diego Padres. So Rogers here, he had a great start to the season. But now of late, he's blowing a lot of saves. But I still would want him on my fantasy team. 41 1/3, 1-5 record, 28 saves, 37 hits on the year, 20 earned runs, 9 walks, 48 strikeouts, but 7 blown saves, 4.35 ERA, a 1.11 whip. But over the last few weeks here for him, 5 2/3, 1-1 record, 4 saves, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 2 blown saves, 6.35 ERA and a 1.59 whip. So right here, Taylor Rogers, he's on a team where he's going to get a lot of opportunities to get save situations. And like I mentioned, he's got 28 saves in 35 opportunities, which obviously isn't all that good. But right now, well, he's struggling, and he's been getting hit hard over the last few weeks here as Taylor Rogers. This would be a time to go out there and get him, because if it's just a quick fix here where he's got to throw more strikes and point his pitches here, that's a quick fix here, because Rogers, he's one of the best closers this season. I know the ERA's ballooned up in the blown saves, but right now, you could go out there and get him, especially while he's struggling, and he's blown saves in the last couple outings here that he's had is Taylor Rogers. So right now I would gut him, because he's a guy, if he turns it around, he's going to get a lot of saves. And he's a guy still getting 2 or 3 saves a week here, even with the blown opportunities, because San Diego has been in a lot of close games this season. And right now he's a guy I would want on my roster if you need closer and saves on your team. And the 5th and final guy I would look to buy and trade for this week here is Carlos Rendon of the San Francisco Giants. So Rendon in his first season, for the most part, he's been good with the Giants. 116 innings, 8-6 record, complete game, 91 hits, 41 runs, 39 walks, 148 strikeouts, which is a big number in 116 innings, and 10 quality starts. But over the last few weeks here, the numbers have dropped off here for Rendon. 16 innings, 17 hits, 11 runs, 0-1 record, 7 walks, 24 strikeouts, a 6.19 ERA and a 1.5 whip. But on the season, the ERA is still solid at a 3.18 with a 1.12 whip. But right here, the last few weeks have been a struggle, especially after the All-Star break. And he's really only had one tough matchup, in my opinion. I know the Brewers can hit the ball, but they've been up and down this season. And then the Dodgers here, we know they can hit, so they hit him pretty hard. So the last few games, July 14th versus Milwaukee, 5 innings, no decision, 8 hits, a run, 3 walks, 7 Ks in that one. July 21st at the Dodgers, 5 innings, no decision, 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. And July 26th at the D-backs, 6 innings, got the loss, 3 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 10 Ks. So right here, he's only had 2 quality starts since June 28th here as Rendon, which is obviously surprising considering the way he started this season. And right now, this Giant team, they've definitely been struggling over the last month of the season since the beginning of July here. His next outing will be July 31st versus the Cubs, who we know are a weak hitting team. And we know they're probably going to trade Wilson Contreras as well, who's one of their big hitters left in that lineup for this Cub team. So Rendon, he definitely could bounce back versus the Cubs. But right now, while he's been struggling over the last few weeks here, he's definitely a guy I would try to buy low, because we know the upside. He's still getting a lot of strikeouts, which is a key thing for fantasy owners. And he still could eat innings. Even in the games he struggled, he's still going 5 innings here as Rendon. With most pitchers in the league, that's a good outing for them. So right now, while he's been struggling, this is a perfect time to go out there and buy him low. And maybe you get him on a little bit of a discount, considering where a few weeks ago his ranking was way up there in fantasy week. So that's a few pitchers I look to buy and trade for week 15 of the fantasy baseball season.